The Royal Rumble is this weekend, this Saturday, so you guys know what that means. It is time for the predictions, for my predictions. It's been a while since I've done a prediction video since the Survivor Series show, but of course, it's been a while and all that for predictions. But yes, it is time for the Royal Rumble prediction video for my predictions for the Royal Rumble. Of course, as usual for the Royal Rumble show, only 4 matches, two singles matches for this show. Two big ones, really. One for the WWE Championship, and of course, other one with AJ and Gunther. Of course, we'll get into those. And of course, the two Rumble matches. Go over my predictions of the two matches and of the Royal Rumble matches, and also kind of predict certain entries, maybe surprises or anything like that for the Royal Rumble matches. But of course, yes, we'll be going over each match, giving you guys my predictions, and of course, and everything else as well. Before we get into the video, of course, welcome everybody to the BrewCrew channel. I do, of course, wrestling content like this. I do football content as well with Saints and LSU. If you guys are new to the channel or haven't yet here on the BrewCrew channel, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell for future upcoming videos here on the BrewCrew channel. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into my Royal Rumble predictions. Let's go ahead and just get right into it. Sorry, I'm a little bit stuffy. I kind of actually, as before recording this, I woke up not that too long ago, so I'm a bit stuffy from waking up. But wanted to go ahead and get this video recorded and all that. So sorry if you hear me sniffle and all that. It's just I'm a little bit stuffy, but I'm alright. I'm just a wake up stuffy and all that. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the matches. Of course, only 4 matches. Let's start off with the singles matches before we get into the Royal Rumble matches. First, of course, let's start off with one of the big ones, and that, of course, is Gunther versus AJ Styles. With AJ Styles' career on the line, of course, the two fought against each other a couple weeks ago on Raw. It ended in controversial fashion with Gunther pretending the tap, but the ref didn't see it, leading to a low blow and then a pin by Gunther. Of course, there's back and forth of if this is AJ Styles' last match, if AJ Styles is retiring at the Rumble, because it is at the Royal Rumble show that it was 10 years ago at the show, back in 2016, that he made his debut with WWE. It's still pretty shocking to me that he's only been with WWE for 10 years, even though he's been wrestling for longer than that. It just, of course, was a long time for fans to see him in WWE, and finally got it, and it was definitely worth it. Of course, an amazing run with WWE, especially the first 3 years, as of course he was constantly in the world title picture. He was world champion twice, and yeah, of course, we saw this past Monday, he had the match, first time ever in WWE against CM Punk. Of course, that happened, ended in controversial fashion with Finn Balor, but it is what it is. In this match, of course, there's a lot of people who actually do think Gunther is going to win, but I'm kind of one of those people that actually thinks, I feel like AJ Styles could pull off the win, and it either leads to a match between the two at WrestleMania, or another sort of match down the line that we see the two have again. But, I mean, a little bit of me does think, because of course there's the stuff coming out from Shinsuke Nakamura saying that AJ did tell him, and it's actually potentially coming out that this could be AJ Styles' last match and his retirement match against Gunther, but we'll have to see. And it's Gunther who is the career killer, because he technically retired Goldberg, and of course he retired John Cena. So of course we'll have to see, but I'm going to go with AJ Styles for my final prediction for this match. So that's my final prediction for the match. The next one-on-one match before the Royal Rumble matches is, of course, the only championship match on tonight on the show. Of course, live from Riyadh. I forgot to say that. Live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, is the WWE Championship match between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. This technically has been building up a little bit. Of course, Sami Zayn last Saturday won the Fatal 4-Way match at Saturday Night's Main Event, defeating Trick Williams, Randy Orton, and Damian Priest in a Fatal 4-Way match to get the #1 contendership and have his way to the Royal Rumble. Of course, we'll see this sort of build up on Friday for SmackDown, but I'm definitely looking forward to this match. A little bit of me wants Sami Zayn to win because of just how crazy 2026 has been with title changes, and I really feel like with how this year has been, I feel like WWE might take the shot and have Sami Zayn finally win the big one in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where he has history with, of course. He has history with Montreal and Canada and all that, because he's from Canada. But he does have a special connection a little bit with Rhea, so it would be pretty cool for him to win the WWE Championship. But honestly, I think they will probably go with Drew, and I think Drew will be going in WrestleMania as WWE Champion. So I'm honestly going to go opposite of what I feel like could happen. So I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre winning and potentially going on to WrestleMania as the WWE Champion. Kind of also another reason why, and I'll get to it why in my Royal Rumble match prediction. But my final prediction for this match is Drew McIntyre winning and retaining the title over Sami Zayn. Next up is, of course, the first of the two Royal Rumble matches is, of course, the Women's Royal Rumble match. Now, this, of course, is definitely pretty difficult to choose because there's only two women that I have in mind of who I want to win. Surprise returns, I don't know any really surprise returns. The only surprise return that I feel like could happen is Bianca Belair. That's the only, not really surprise return, but that's the return that I feel like could be big for this Women's Rumble. We haven't seen her in months. Like, I can't honestly remember the last time we saw her on TV. It was kind of during that storyline with Naomi and Jade. And I think, like, after that one SmackDown appearance, she just was not on TV anymore for a while. And so we haven't seen her in months. So this would be perfect for her to come back. I also kind of want to do something to where who do I think could be number one, number two. My top one of who I feel like could be number one, number two for the Women's Rumble that I would like to see happen, that could be pretty cool to happen, would be Becky Lynch, the current Women's Intercontinental Champion, comes out at number one, and she goes on a spiel of course, her usual spiel of being the greatest woman wrestler of all time, and all that. And then number two comes out, and it's AJ Lee. And them two finally have, like, a one-on-one, but not in a one-on-one match, but they're still, like, one-on-one in the ring together. And that's how I believe you could a hot start to a Women's Rumble match. Of course, my top two winners that I really have that I could see winning, the top two winners that I feel like a lot of people have winning is Liv Morgan, and then I have potentially Bianca Belair. Because I feel like it would be big, because if Bianca Belair wins, we could see something with her, with Jade Cargill, who is the current women's champion at WrestleMania, and have finally that match for WrestleMania. And honestly enough, it would be perfect for Jade Cargill, because her title run right now is butt. It sucks right now. She's barely defending the title. She's appearing every now and then on SmackDown, and it's like I don't know if WWE has any plans for her as champion. I don't know. I hope, but it's not looking too great right now. For Liv Morgan, mostly because, like, it's an accolade for her that she hasn't, like, accomplished yet, and it would be pretty cool. And also you have the thing with her friend Raquel having her rivalry with Stephanie could lead to her winning the world title potentially, and then maybe leading to a friend versus friend, or like something happening there with Raquel and Liv potentially facing at WrestleMania. So there's a lot of options with that if Liv Morgan goes on the win. But my top two favorites to potentially win, that I predict to potentially win, is Bianca Belair, who could return, and Liv Morgan. So that's my final predictions for that. Finally is, of course, potentially what could be the main event. I don't know how the match card's going to go, but would be the Men's Royal Rumble match. Now, of course, this is a stacked Men's Royal Rumble match. You got Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, Gunther, Roman Reigns is going to be involved. You, of course, saw, I believe, Javon Evans, Oba Femi, who's finally making his main roster debut. I think Javon, because, of course, he had that injury, but I think he's okay and healthy to participate in the Rumble. So this is definitely going to be a stacked. Of course, one of the returns I had in my head was like Roman Reigns returning, but not as a surprise return. The only surprise return that I feel like could happen, but also kind of shaky if it won't, is a return of Chris Jericho. Of course, he's been rumored to potentially return. He could probably be one of the top two to return. You know, like number one could probably be The Miz, and then Chris Jericho make his return. A thing that I would probably love to see happen is like possibly the return of Chad Gable, and either him return as Chad Gable or him return at his version of El Grande Americano. As of course, to kind of say it, because of course I know a lot of other wrestling fans won't say it. Ludwig Kaiser is the current El Grande Americano. So I would love to see them do like a Mick Foley thing in this Rumble with him, like him come back as himself, but then him get eliminated and then him come out as El Grande Americano. You know, do like Mick Foley thing where he came out in the Royal Rumble as all three versions of himself: Cactus Jack, Dude Love, and Mankind. Like, of course, if you don't know, if you know, you know. Of course, like, that would be pretty cool if they did that. But then also they had, like, Chad Gable return, but either return as himself or return as the other El Grande Americano, and then either they start off the match or something. That's just kind of a cool thing that I kind of hope they kind of do. It would be pretty funny. It'd be pretty funny, though. But I do have a pretty good amount of winners. Finn Balor was one winner I had in my mind after what happened on Monday Night Raw. But now, after, of course, hearing the news for him that he's not going to be in the Rumble because now the Rumble's full because he was challenging for the world title the previous week, which I don't know what's going to happen with that, because it looked like they were going to have him go babyface. Now they have him still as a heel. What is happening with Finn Balor right now, bro? Like, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But he was up there, but I still got a good bit of winners. Kind of would shock people. So really my four, I want to go ahead and say the dark horse and a guy who could potentially return because we haven't seen him in a while, LA Knight. Of course, a lot of people would be like, why LA Knight? Like, there's no way they're going to have LA Knight win because, of course, he hasn't really been booked that well. He's just my dark horse, and he's the only one that I can think of because, like, I feel like they could, like, do something. I don't know. The other two that could be my top two is Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker. Roman Reigns because I feel like it would be interesting to see him win a second Rumble and him go on to WrestleMania and maybe challenge CM Punk for the world title, you know? It'd be pretty cool to finally see him versus Punk. That could be cool. And Braun Breaker because, like, he's already had such a great year last year, pretty good year last year. He's already got off to a great start this year, and I think the step up for him is to win the Rumble and go on to challenge for the world title again and potentially win the world championship. So he's another one. The third one could be a favorite for a lot of people is Sami Zayn, but this is only if he doesn't win the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre. He still enters the Rumble and he goes on to win. But I don't know because, of course, the Rumble is full, so there's probably not a chance that we'll get to see him in the Rumble. So, but he's still an option just cause. So, but really, my top two is Roman and Braun Breaker because I feel like those two would match. Gunther, I don't really know if they should go Gunther because with other stories that they could do for the world title instead of just doing Gunther and Punk again or Gunther and whoever. And then with Cody Rhodes, it's like, I don't know. You have the thing with him and Jacob Fatu, and then you want to run freaking McIntyre and Rhodes again if McIntyre wins. So there's just that stuff that I don't really have them as my favorites to win. So again, my top two favorites for the men's Rumble is Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns. So those are my final predictions. And so, yeah. So I think that's where I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Let me know your guys' predictions down below. Who you think is going to win the matches, who you think is going to win the Royal Rumble, who you think is going to return, and all that. Who you actually think is going to start, and other interesting things that you guys want to probably see in the Rumble. Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys made it all the way to this point in the video, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for future upcoming videos here on the BrewCrew channel. I will, of course, probably try to have a review video. I do have plans the day before Saturday, and then, of course, you know, Saturday afternoon is when the show will be. So I'll try my best to try to get maybe a review video out or do a review video that weekend. But, again, hope you guys have the notification bell on so you guys can be looking forward to that. So yeah, again, do all the stuff that I said before, like, subscribe, notification bell, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Hope you guys have a blessed, wonderful day. Peace.